In the hush of Westminster corridors and across the glossy pages of weekend tabloids, a provocative whisper has surfaced, an ultimatum from Princess and demanding that Queen Camilla return certain jewels. That whisper is magnetic because it blends the royal family's mystique with the timeless drama of inheritance, loyalty, and symbolism. Before the headline-hungry cycle turns this into either a scandal or a forgettable rumor, this piece offers a measured, evidence-focused exploration, tracing how such a claim gains traction, what it would mean legally and culturally, and why the truth matters far beyond the sparkle of gemstones. If you want incisive, trustworthy royal analysis that cuts through conjecture and leaves other sites in the dust, subscribe and follow. This is the kind of reporting and storytelling that delivers clarity, context, and authority on stories that matter. If you value calm, deeply sourced royal analysis, hit subscribe now and turn on notifications. This channel is committed to long-form exploration, not fleeting gossip. Within the first minute, give this video/article a like and share it with anyone who believes nuance should still exist in royal reporting. The narrative circulating in some corners of the media and social platforms frames a terse family clash. Princess Anne, described as steadfast and fiercely protective of tradition, is said to have issued an ultimatum compelling Queen Camilla to return specific pieces of jewelry. The accounts vary, some present it as a direct demand, others as a firm request backed by legal warning. Crucially, there is no uniform, independently verified account confirming an official ultimatum from Princess Anne, and no public statement from Buckingham Palace validating the claim. In a media environment where hearsay can metastasize into headline reality, the origin and trajectory of such a story are as important as the claim itself. Tabloid cycles and social media often amplify insinuations about the royal family precisely because jewels and heirlooms symbolize lineage, continuity, and the private tensions that contrast with public duty. When rumors about items of symbolic value, necklaces, tiaras, brooches, surface, they attract attention because they seem to conflate personal sentiment with institutional consequence. Yet asserting that Princess Anne has issued an ultimatum requires a higher evidential threshold than current public reporting provides. Responsible coverage must therefore separate unverified rumor from confirmed fact. Understanding why a demand to return jewels would resonate requires a short lesson in royal property law and custom. The crown jewels, swords, crowns, and regalia used for state ceremonies are held in trust for the nation and the monarch and are not personal property. Conversely, there exists a vast and complex body of personal royal jewelry, pieces acquired through inheritance, gifts, or purchase that sit within the private estates or personal collections of members of the royal family. The legal status of any specific item depends on provenance, whether it was a sovereign grant, a bequest, a wedding gift, or personal purchase. Historically, this distinction has produced both quiet family negotiations and public disputes. For anyone outside the institution, the difference is easy to misunderstand. A tiara worn at a state banquet may be part of a personal collection loaned for the occasion, while another ornate necklace worn at the same event could be unequivocally crown property. The nuance matters because a demand to return privately held jewels can be framed as a familial entreaty or civil claim. A demand involving crown property would escalate into constitutional territory. This is why verified documentation, wills, inventories, or palace declarations is indispensable before accepting any dramatic claim about forced returns or ultimatums. If a senior royal truly sought the return of specific jewels, the resolution would most likely follow a discreet, private pathway rather than a courtroom spectacle. High-profile families, and the monarchy in particular, typically prefer negotiated settlements, mediated discussions, and internal agreements to preserve both privacy and public dignity. When legal measures are pursued, they are often framed in technical terms, property law, proprietary rights, and documented ownership, rather than as family vendettas. Litigation involving the royal household is rare and carries significant reputational risk, so the first course of action would probably be private and protocol-driven. Nevertheless, there are procedural mechanisms available. A claim supported by incontrovertible documentary evidence, say, a testamentary bequest or purchase receipts, would provide legal standing. Conversely, ambiguous provenance or long-standing loanese complicate matters. Statutes of limitation, equitable doctrines, and the complexity of gifting practices across decades would all shape any enforceable claim. The public perception of an ultimatum matters nearly as much as the legal mechanics. A public feud could weaken the monarchy's image of stability, and advisors would weigh reputational harm against the perceived merits of asserting ownership. Across European royal families, property disputes have occasionally become flashpoints, illuminating the tensions between dynastic legacy and personal autonomy. In many monarchies, jewels have functioned as financial assets, political symbols, and familial anchors. When disagreements arose, the outcomes ranged from private settlements to court rulings, each precedent shaping future behavior and public expectations. English royal history, marked by episodes where jewels played roles in dynastic strategy, indicates that these items are never purely ornamental. They are embedded in layers of legal, emotional, and institutional significance. Understanding these precedents helps temper sensationalism. Past disputes show that even where claims are made, they are resolved with an eye to continuity rather than punitive public spectacle. Analysts and historians note that the monarchy's long-term legitimacy relies on preserving ritual and decorum. A public family rupture over jewels could thus be strategically avoided or carefully managed, even when powerful personalities and deep feelings are involved. Rumors about royal rows spread because they fit a compelling narrative architecture, clearly defined characters, an easily understood object of conflict, the jewels, and a moral subtext about tradition versus change. Digital platforms reward emotional engagement, and stories implying family discord often perform strongly. Yet search interest spikes and trending topics do not equate to verified truth. For responsible consumers of news, the correct approach is triangulation, prioritizing primary sources, official palace statements, reputable national outlets, and documented records, over unnamed sources and social conjecture. Critical evaluation also means recognizing how narratives are shaped. Tabloid stories may present allegations as dramatic certainty, while more reputable outlets will seek palace comment and independent verification. If you are tracking this story, look for statements from official channels, documented legal filings, or corroboration from established royal correspondents who can substantiate claims with evidence.